When you're on vacation, you feel a deep sense of freedom. No boss, no deadline, living life so full that your entire being vibrates at a higher level. That's what it's about, and why we bought a vintage houseboat in Minnesota to boat down the Mississippi River to Louisiana. It changed our lives. Now we're on a permanent vacation mindset, and we want you to be as well. Life is too short not to explore. So subscribe and join our crew to see where this river leads us. Yours truly, Margaret and Bradley McCoy. Hey y'all, live update from 2023 before we begin episode 43. Just wanted to give you a little heads up. We are going to start speeding things up so that we can get back to a more real-time experience. Our journey with the houseboat was in 2020. If you've been following along, thank you. Just having any positive feedback and having anyone view it and be interested in it is so incredible. We just kind of put this out there so we would have something to look back on this trip. And so we're just so eternally grateful for all the support and following thus far. But we got to get rocking and rolling. We got another adventure coming up in 2023. So we want to really get you guys up to speed. There's been some big things happen, big life changes from 2020. And so the next few videos are going to be kind of sped along so that we can really get you guys caught up. Can't wait to share even more. And yeah, so hope you enjoy episode 43. More to come.
After a couple hours of sleep, it was right back to the houseboat the next day to prep the boat, get all of our stuff off, and get it ready to be pulled out of the water. But we were informed they would not be able to pull the houseboat due to the bolt-on walkways, as they only use travel lifts and the straps would crush the walkways. I offered to take the walkways off, but they weren't interested. And even worse, they didn't have a place for us to stay and keep the boat. So back to the drawing board. After calling around a little bit, we got lucky in that we found a slip at Orleans Marina, which is only 5 minutes from our house, but it also meant that we needed to crank old girl up and boat through Lake Pontchartrain to Orleans Marina. Once we got the boat secured at Orleans Marina, I spent a day doing some assessments, and it was off to our friend's farm for some QT with old friends. Afterwards, we made a quick fishing trip, prepare for duck season, and a little bit more boat work.
Just chilling in the water. Crawled right up.
Alright, so I'm sitting here in the Orleans Marina right here. Of course, I've got an engine down. I've got water pouring through it. I had an issue kind of with the idle even holding prior to that, and the exhaust. This is the engine I ran maybe 10 to 20% of the trip. So I've taken a couple things apart right here. I'm going to show you. So right here there was actually a choke with a choke cap, and the cap was cracked. I'll show it to you. It's back at the house. I've already ordered that part. So I pulled the wires from it, pulled this off, and got the choke out and ordered a new one. So I'm hoping that's going to be a lot of issues with the idle changing and having to hold the throttle down to keep the engine running, otherwise it would die. So that was one part. So the other part, I've had water running through the bottom of the engine. I've read a couple things where if you get to this point and water's in the engine, that you know, your engine could be bad and you could have to rebuild the engine or get a new engine. I'm hopeful that it's still tied to the exhaust and not in the engine. So I'm going to try this out. But essentially, these right here are manifolds. So this is a manifold here. This is a riser. From what I can find, it looks like this is called the log style. So they don't even really make these anymore. They've got a center riser that comes out instead of on the back end. The problem is I was looking at how many hoses. This is the thermostat here, and it looks like I've got 6 hoses. So this would be a 6-bib thermostat. The center risers do not show these hoses coming out and as many coming in. There's a way you can bypass some of it because of how much goes in or out or excess water, etc. I'm still learning about it. But what I'm going to do for now is at least just try to get all this off and inspect it, inspect the riser, inspect the manifold. There's a couple other deals. Someone mentioned a gasket head, or it could be a seal within it. Could be something to do with the bellows in the back if it's coming through. But based on where it's pouring out, the noise that I heard before when the engine went down, so I've just got to figure out what type of manifold and riser that I can possibly get it to match up with, and then if I've got to change out my hose and thermostat system, or if I can find something that'll match up with all these hoses. So that's what we're working on right now. Try to get this thing back up and running, and then after that I'm going to move on to the trim line that blew out and try to get it up to the other engine that the other engine is running. So we'll see. Alright guys, so what we got right here, this is the manifold. It took me a while, but I got the manifold off with the riser and the boot. Rust water was pouring out of it down here. Just ton of rusty water. So that alone is giving me some assumptions that it's not too good. You can see the fittings right here are pretty dang rusty as well. So I've got this completely out. Had a number of things I had to unattach to get to it. I was hoping I'm going to have to do the other one too, but as far as I can get tonight. But this will give me a chance to take it home, study it, make sure I get the right parts to come back and put it back together. So here we go.
While Bradley was being a hero and learning how to take apart a 1973 engine, I was busy growing a baby gummy bear and working on recapping the trip in our journal.
And of course, there was another hurricane coming straight for us. Hurricane Zeta.
Jeff, let's turn to the Gulf Coast now. Is Tropical Storm Zeta on track to strengthen into a hurricane before it makes landfall?
So it's really close to being a hurricane already. Winds are 70 miles an hour. The pressure is beginning to drop. You can see this big blob of thunderstorms right here. So this is going to continue to make its way northwest. We expect it'll become a hurricane today, making landfall again. Remember, Delta did the exact same thing. It looks like it'll probably come on shore as a strong tropical storm, but it may still be a low-end hurricane. You should prepare for that. That's going to happen Wednesday late in the day, Wednesday during the evening. And yeah, look at it. Again, Louisiana. We've had 8 landfalls around the Gulf Coast so far this season alone. 8 landfalling storms already. So folks are weary, especially in Louisiana. But this could hit anywhere from central Louisiana all the way east to the panhandle of Florida, including Biloxi and Mobile and New Orleans as well.
Okay, I think we have survived Hurricane Zeta. The eye wall literally went through our neighborhood and straight through, and by eye wall I mean the path. The path went straight through our neighborhood and straight through the marina where the houseboat is. I mean, straight through it. So I am driving now to the houseboat. The storm just came through about an hour and a half ago. If you look here, it is 8:06. So it's It's 8:06 p.m. The storm rolled through about 6, and then probably 6:45. It seemed like the second eye wall, so I was waiting until about 7:30. But I'm gonna run and check on the houseboat and pray nothing's hit it. We'll see. And the power is out through the entire neighborhood. I'm talking, you know, it's about 3 or 4 miles deep, this neighborhood. And interestingly enough, the power, our neighbors across the street, it's a section of 4 houses that have power. Don't ask me how that worked out. And I feel like we would have had power. We could have held out about 5 more minutes. It looked like we were going to be okay. And then, I mean, the wind just started howling through there, and I saw the transformer blow in the backyard. So anyway, you can see some of the trees down. Oops. To give you an idea, Lakeview, some parts of it were 6, 8, 10 feet underwater. So you can see where some places the mature trees aren't here and there's gaps, and then others where the trees were spared. This is from Katrina. So for Katrina, some of these areas, that's why you see a lot of these houses are built up. Obviously they got a backup generator. But you can see where the houses are built up, 6+ feet in the air. So it looks like the state troopers are protecting the boats. They may not let me through, depending what happens. Doesn't look like he's stopping me. I guess they're just keeping everything safe and secure so a bunch of people don't get any crazy ideas breaking into anything. We shall see. It looks like that damn restaurant's open. Anyway, we may have power. We may have power on the boat. Looks like we do. Oh, the gate's closed. Okay, so they did close the gate. So the houseboat is behind that floodgate, and it is closed. There's a ladder there. If I got a wild hair, maybe I'll try to crawl over it. We'll see. I think I do have a wild hair, so. Anyhow, may look into that. This might be the state trooper. Ladder there. There's a ladder there. Not sure how bright of an idea it would be to climb over that ladder, but I can't help myself. Okay, I made it to the other side of the levee wall. Over here where the boats are, and there she is. She's still in one place, so looks like it's at least not damaging any other boats or anything else. We'll go check the windows and everything else, and we'll get out of here. Well, she is floating and tied up. All the lines are still tied up. Haven't walked on it yet, but looks like everything held. So I'm fired up about that. I actually just got some videos sent to me. My neighbor over here in the boat, he rode the storm out on his boat. He's ridden every one of them out. He said the water was over this wall right here. So it looks like the boat came up a good 4+ feet. But everything looks like we're in pretty good shape. So I'm gonna go check it out, see how we're doing.